That's what we appreciate so much with French Connections HCB is they take so much off your plate. So you can focus on, just like you said, just start living our life. But everyone's been so nice and kind and helping us with our language. I'm so glad that we are here.
Hello and welcome back to Real French Connections. Today we're in the little town of Mirande, which is in the Gers region of France. And we're here to talk to John and Kelli. They've moved here from Arizona, but they've only been here 9 weeks. So they're going to tell us all about what that arrival in France feels like, and also a little bit about the services they bought from French Connections HCB that helped them get here.
Oh, don't drag me. Don't drag me.
Baby.
Well, yeah.
Actually, they're being pretty.
They're being pretty good.
Yeah.
This is very beautiful, guys. This is where you bring the dogs every day.
Almost every day.
Almost
yes.
every day.
Actually, were there other surprises? Because you've come to a town of what? 3,500, I think it's 3,500 residents in the last census, which was a few years ago, from 7.5 million in Arizona. What are the things that stick out? What are the main differences? How does it feel?
It's not congested.
Yeah, the traffic's much better.
The traffic's much better. Yes, it's just less busy.
Life in general, do you mean?
Oh yes, everything's so fast paced in Arizona or in the States. Fast. Instant gratification. Instant fines. Racing through traffic.
Yep.
Walking fast through the grocery store. I mean, it's just busy.
Here, there's still so much happening within our little community.
Yeah.
So when we arrived, they were having random live music in the town square.
Yeah.
And we could sit and enjoy dinner, and there was family coming out and children dancing and adults dancing, and it was just a random Wednesday night. So lucky.
Yes, I am.
So what on earth made you choose Mirande? Having visited different parts of France, why were you drawn here?
Well, I wouldn't say we were drawn here. I mean, we knew we wanted to move back in France in 2019.
Yeah.
We visited Paris.
And were you
Milan.
first thinking about Paris?
No. Kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go from one busy area to another busy
Fair
area.
point.
I was looking forward to, or we were looking forward to something more, calm and be able to breathe, And, but yeah, we went, to Normandy, which I loved.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Loire, and which I loved again. And as we were leaving, because I don't know about you, but I know when I've taken vacations, by the end of them, I'm looking forward to going home. Getting back in my own bed, being in my house, seeing my kids, my dogs, getting back to normal life. But actually, when we were leaving, I got emotional.
Because you didn't want to leave.
I didn't want to go.
But that's a real turning point, isn't it?
Yeah, and as we were driving home in the cabby, bonjour.
Bonjour.
I looked at my husband and I said, why don't we move here?
And your reaction, John?
I was all in.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I was like,
Never having spoken about it before.
No.
I never thought I'd leave the United States.
Wow.
That was never in my plans or dream book or anything.
Gosh.
And I just felt like that.
It felt like home.
It felt like home.
It
It's
very
like
much.
I left a piece of my heart here.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, well, maybe we're just romanticizing things. you know? And maybe it's just the magic of Paris and the magic of Normandy and Loire. And so we kept coming back. So we came back in 2021.
Yeah.
And we went to Strasbourg, Colmar.
Wow.
Went down to Burgundy region. And then up to Chamonix in the Alps.
Beautiful. But like this time were you actively thinking, could it be this place? Could it be this place?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Or most of my thinking was, am I still getting these same feelings? Does
Putting
it still
yourself
feel
the
like
litmus
home?
test.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very much
Does
so.
it still feel like home?
So you still hadn't been here.
No.
In all the places you've been, you hadn't been here. What drew you here?
Richard.
Okay, so was that all? Did that happen because you got serious about it and actually tried to find somebody to help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And as we were looking for homes, rentals, whatever the case would be, at one point, Richard kind of jumped in and said, hey guys, I've got some properties in the Gers, especially in my old hometown of Mirande. You should take a look. And we hadn't visited the Gers. We were unfamiliar. Looking at a map, it's unassuming when you look at the Gers.
Sorry to interrupt this video, but if you're thinking about moving to France, but this is going to be quite a few years away from now, but you just like to find out where the perfect spot for you guys is in France, well, you can use our Region Matcher service. This is going to be the perfect service for you. You're going to give us all of your information on what your hobbies are, what your kind of weather you like, what kind of activities you want to do. And our experts are going to match you with the 3 top regions and create a specific digital map so that you can review this and also have a call with myself for 45 minutes to discuss the region that we've matched you with and the reason why potentially this would work for you. So without any further ado, go in the description box or use the QR code to purchase your Region Matcher service.
You arrived in that house, sight unseen. But I mean sight unseen to spend a significant amount of time, having packed up, having said goodbye to family and friends.
Yeah.
That feels like a big, bold move. What gave you the confidence to do it at the end?
7-year dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot had happened in the previous year. A lot had happened personally. And Kelli and I are both believers that, the universe sends you messages. Sometimes you ignore it and you regret it later.
Yeah.
And other times you're just pulled towards it.
Yeah.
There are too many messages coming, pulling us to go now. Don't wait for France.
Really?
Just go now. Not the longer plan that we had established for ourselves.
Yeah.
But after this year that we had survived with one another,
Right.
it was, why are we waiting?
Yeah.
I mean, what's really keeping us tied to the position we were in then? Why can't we just go start experiencing the dream now? And a lot of long talks, a lot of emotional talk,
Yeah, I bet.
lots of talks with our boys.
Yep.
And again, every message was, let's just go.
Yeah.
And
And 2, it was also knowing, because working with Richard, we had a team here already waiting for us. A team that was putting our house together.
Yep.
A team that was someone we could call that was a safety net for us.
Yes.
A team that was going to help us with our dogs.
yeah,
A team that was going to help us with our Carte Vitale.
Yep.
There was a team of people. We weren't doing this alone.
no,
And that was huge too.
it was, the visa.
Yeah.
Then it was the dogs.
Yeah.
Then it was a car. And then it was car insurance. And then it was registration.
Yeah.
And then it was a rental. And then the list kept getting bigger. And then it was, well, do we want
Can we do this?
Do we want to do this on our own? Because I think the only thing we're going to be doing is this. And the whole dream of France will be back burner.
Yes.
right? Because we're going to be so focused
Soaked
on
in
the
administration.
administrative side
It
of
was feeling
things.
overwhelming.
Yeah, very much so.
Very overwhelming. And because it's not like we're going to the UK or Australia,
Yeah.
you know, where they speak English,
Yes.
you know, it's, you know, the French have their own beautiful language and we don't know how to speak it yet.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't speak the language. So that was, you know, it was overwhelming. But, you
So
know,
having that support team
yeah,
on your side
yeah,
enabled you to come with confidence, I guess,
yeah.
to look positively, to actually still have
Mhm,
that feeling that you had
mhm,
of going home.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, very much so.
Doesn't really have to be family, does it? You have a family when you've
Yeah.
got that team.
Yes.
Yes.
We have like our own tribe here waiting for us to
A
help.
tribe. That's a nice way of
Mhm.
putting it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or our own little village.
Yes.
Our own
Yeah,
little
your village within a village.
already waiting
Yeah.
to help us out. And that's such a comforting feeling,
Absolutely.
you know, because
yes.
it's already a lot to move. Takes a lot out of you.
Mhm.
And yeah, and to know that there's people there to help you is just priceless, in my opinion. Priceless.
I think we'll talk about all those individual aspects one by one because I'm sure there's a story behind each of them. And we might start with the story of these two lovely ladies. So guys, on that long list of services that you purchased from French Connections HCB is French dog passports ×2. How was the experience of bringing dogs over from Arizona to Mirande?
You can tell that story. I mean, it was a big stress for us, for sure.
From start to finish or at certain points of it?
Well, I was just concerned about getting them over here and making sure they came over alive because you hear the
Oh, I
nightmare
see.
stories, you know.
That was the part that bothered you, that was worrying you, the actual traveling bit,
actual
the plane
traveling
bit.
Yes. With the traveling with the dogs, I mean, there were options where there was chartered flights,
Right.
you know, where, especially with larger dogs, you could,
Flights where you could travel with the dogs.
where you could travel with the
like
dog in the
private.
cabin,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
With a limited amount of luggage.
Yep.
But they were so particular with how the travel would happen. I mean,
And the weight of the dogs.
and the weight of the dogs.
And it was one of the people that Richard recommended,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, we just kind of checked into it a little bit, but then we just kind of were like, you know, let's check out some other things first.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's one of those moments where you're like, should have listened to Richard. You know, should have listened to the advice that we were given.
What advice did Richard give you?
To
Check
charter
out
the flight.
K9 charters.
Oh, to do the charter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
To just move forward with it.
Yeah.
You know, the price was a little bit, oof,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh. So we decided to go this other route. Hindsight, we would have spent the
We
money.
would have spent the money. Yeah.
Hands down, would have just went ahead, spent the money, did what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about earlier, it's already a very stressful situation, very highly emotional. But again, like having the team here or our village here, we should have had our village that helped us
Yeah.
with the girls too.
And you could have, I suppose, but it's easy in hindsight, isn't it?
In
It
hindsight,
is,
yes.
It is. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, if we recommended, if we were talking to neighbors or friends who decided they want to come, or even other, you know, Americans that are thinking of coming, or Brits or whoever, and you have bigger dogs,
Yeah. And a lot
you
of
know,
luggage.
just spend the money
Yeah.
Spend the money
because
into
it'll
the charter.
be worth it to make sure you all just get here. And because I thank God that they arrived
Yeah.
safe and sound.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Yeah.
did you have already at that stage the pet passport? Did that have to be done before that horrible journey
so the
happened? Did all that paperwork in order to bring them in?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. The initial paperwork, working with, fortunately, our veterinarian that we had in Goodyear, Arizona, was internationally certified. So
Great.
yeah, so
So
that
that
was a
would have
blessing.
helped.
So she assisted with getting all of that initial paperwork done,
Yeah.
and so we could present it to the French authorities. And then that same paperwork, when we got here, we got to meet our new vet.
Fantastic. Local?
Very local,
Yeah,
very
so we
local.
could walk. We walked there,
Yeah,
and that was fun. We
Yeah.
walked with the girls.
yeah, walked with the girls to the new vet, and he's a amazing man. Just absolutely loved on the dogs.
Fantastic.
And
And how did you find that vet?
Richard,
Oh,
Yeah.
through Richard, okay.
French Connections.
French
Yeah.
Connections
Yeah.
recommendation.
yeah,
So in fact, then that service, the pet passport service,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is not expensive, is it, for the safety of having that sort of
Oh,
400 and
definitely
something
not.
euros
Worth it.
or 395 or something per
Mhm.
dog. We'll check
Yeah.
on the
Mhm.
cost. Seems like that's a really good value necessity,
Yeah.
but not difficult
Mhm.
in the right
Mhm.
hands.
Yeah, because when we went to the vet, he went over some of her their medical history.
Mhm.
He put in the French passports for
Uh-huh.
us. He's the one that did all of that for
Okay.
us. So it was easy peasy,
Yeah.
and he
Very much
checked
so.
with our other vet in the States to get
Oh,
caught up on all their medical history
fantastic.
to know what to do, what was best for the girls. And yeah, he's been a blessing.
he has been a blessing, and that was the first we'd ever encountered that, where he initiated that. He's like, I'd very much like to talk to your vet in Arizona, so I can
Extraordinary.
get
Mhm.
their history, so I can treat them best. Like, that's amazing. Okay, so
Another person joined your village. It seems to
Exactly.
me.
yeah,
Another person for our village.
we visited him the second
Lucky,
time.
lucky girls.
Yes.
Yes.
And they've
Yeah.
acclimated very well.
They-
They enjoy their walks.
They're
and
in dog paradise,
they
aren't
are. They
They-
are.
They acclimated faster than we did.
Yeah.
they? So how long did it take you to adjust to the
Weeks.
9-hour time difference
Weeks.
and regular
took a
meals
while.
and
I think
sleeping
I'm
through
still
the night?
adjusting.
So I mean, but here's the dogs, putting us to shame. Like, hey, we've got this figured out, human.
Yeah.
Why aren't you back on schedule again?
Why not? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Catch
so
up,
fun.
guys. Catch up.
Mhm. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you were talking about the help that you've had from French Connections HCB. And a lot of people are interested in exactly what the services are that are offered and how much they cost, but also what each service entails. So if you don't mind, I know it's a bit of a laundry list, but if I run down to remind you of the services that you bought in your package, and then perhaps we could talk about them individually. Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you bought, it's like a quiz show, isn't it? Long stay visitor visa with remote working ability
Mhm.
and visa validation after that.
Mm.
Buying a car in France, French pet passport, French healthcare, which is the Carte Vitale, tax code creation, first tax return as French residents, the residency application, which is something in the future, of course, the
Mhm.
carte de séjour, and there will also be a carte de séjour validation, which is
Mhm.
really important, a will in France,
Mhm.
and a financial package.
Mm.
So that's what you currently have. There are other things now on offer, but we'll talk about those later. Let's begin with the long stay visitor visa with remote working ability, which costs, because people actually are asking for the current prices,
Mhm.
2,500 euros each.
Mhm.
Can you tell me what that actually entailed, the process, and what value you think it brought to your situation?
Go on, kick
Well,
off.
I mean, first I'd say it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
Absolutely every penny.
And why is that?
Because, we researched other companies, but no one had like that. Like what the process with HCB was, went through the documents that was needed, step by step with us, had a portal to put it into, so we could keep everything, organized.
Yeah.
And then to then they even had a sit-down phone conversation, well, video, but
Right.
phone conversation with us to say, okay, this is the expectations.
Yeah.
This may be what they may ask you, just so you weren't walking in there like blinded,
Right.
because it's already kind of a stressful, anxiety-ridden process because we had to go to LA to get
do
our
it?
visa. Yeah.
The TLS contact center, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
are there only a few to choose from then in terms of the contact centers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you are in LA, and
Mhm.
your entire dream of living in France now hinges upon the visa.
Mhm.
Were you able to walk in there with confidence?
Absolutely. The great thing about working with the team at HCB was they had experts in the visa application. Everybody has their niche
Right.
at French Connections, right? And we had a lovely person that we were working with named Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophie would take us step by step through, here's all the various documents.
Yeah.
And here's how we want to organize and present them.
Yes.
Here's some of the curveballs that might get thrown at us.
Okay.
Here's some additional documents. They won't need them, but
good to
they
have.
might. So just have them with you. Everything to remove any of the what ifs out of a potential hiccup with the visa application.
Right.
And as Kelli had mentioned, I mean, we had looked into doing it ourselves or through others.
Yeah.
And while it seemed straightforward, in our conversations, we kept mentioning to each other back and forth, it was the visa application itself seemed very straightforward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you're in France, that's where it gets complicated.
Right.
And I didn't feel that we were necessarily equipped to handle the once we're in France part
Right.
of the application.
Yeah.
The prior to organizing some of the paperwork, filling in the application was pretty straightforward. But the after, it's like, no, we're not prepared for that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel.
Well, and during some of our research too, and like expat communities and things like that, I mean, there were some nightmare stories.
There are some nightmare
of
stories.
being, denied a few times, and they weren't told. So it was a big old guessing game of what was going on.
Yeah.
And like we've mentioned before, it's like there's a lot of emotion and anxiety and stress moving.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that there was working with a team that had your back, that was helping you through the process, that knew what they were doing. So, it was just so streamlined, so easy. And it took the pressure off of us. It took some stress off of us.
Yeah.
Because pretty much we just showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And having the experts that do it hundreds of times per week.
Yeah.
Rather than a novice doing it once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
There's an odds game there of which one is going to be more successful, right? The person who does it the one time, well, they might have to fail twice with getting the rejection back. Oh, I didn't check box B. Oh, I didn't give them this. Rather than having somebody who does it multiple times per day, look through it, validate it, verify it. If there's something wrong, they go back to you, they get it corrected, and then it gets submitted into the French consulate to go through the approval process, which is really what you want. You want those experts to do it.
And how long did it actually take then from you going to your interview and knowing that you had successfully acquired your visas? How long was that time?
2 days.
2 days.
It was a ridiculously short amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah, we
were already getting the texts saying, "Oh, it's already been to DC." Oh, and we were like, "How are they already telling us that it's on its way back to us when we were just there?"
You were barely back yourselves.
Yeah.
we were barely back from LA when we had received notification that they were in the mail.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So reassurance, expertise, confidence. And a guaranteed outcome, I guess, is what you're paying for.
And I can give you a really good example of where it helped. Different people have different financial situations when they come to France, and where their income is coming from or where it resides.
Yes.
That's the biggest part that the French want to see is, can you support yourself, right?
Right.
Where is the money coming from? Well, if you've ever looked at American bank statements or financial institution statements, they're complicated. You can't really tell. So with our particular situation, Sophie said, let's put some annotation in there, right? Some little arrows, right? This is the debit. This is the credit.
Right.
This is the origin account. This is the deposit account. This is where it's cash ready. Pull it out of the ATM. But that way they can see where the income is coming from month to month that supports
Right.
the overall necessity,
Yeah.
right? And have that highlighted or marked. When we got to the TLS contact center and we sat in front of our individual agents, you know, next to each other,
Yeah.
getting our interviews, we actually got the compliment back, wow, you guys are the most prepared people that we've seen in weeks.
Gosh.
So if you're watching this and you're seriously considering moving to France, we can help with everything from PEP transport all the way to visas and of course the all-important residency. If you're ready to make the move today, go in the description box below, schedule your call, or you can use this QR code on screen. We're here to help make your dream come true.
You were talking about essential things such as in the visa being able to prove your income. Another essential part of the visa is having a stable address, isn't it? What they call a safe address, which can't be just an Airbnb for a couple of weeks. So how did you go about that? Having a safe address for your visa application and indeed for living here now.
Do you want to kick
Went
that one?
through, went through HCB. So again, doing our research, because I mean, we researched for 7 years, you know.
It's a lot of research.
Yes.
Right.
And we
Buy
heard
rent, buy rent.
and we heard, you know, read the nightmare stories of having a hard time finding a long-term rental. We also had 2 Siberian Huskies. So even if they were like, yeah, great, you know, then the dogs became an issue.
Yeah.
Or, you know, is it an Airbnb and it costs you thousands of dollars?
Yeah.
And it may have only been temporary because
Yes.
they want their summer tourist
Summer
dollars, which
Yeah.
understandable.
Of
We get
course.
it. It's their business, you know. So we were looking around and that was my biggest concern, was having a roof over our head.
Yeah. And having that place to call home, I think, was important to you, wasn't it?
Exactly. So we're looking through services again with HCB. They had a service to help you find a rental or buy a home,
Right.
but I didn't know exactly where I wanted to live
Yeah.
here in France. So we were choosing the rental, and Richard happened to have one, so we jumped on it. And you know, and it's a lovely. It's in Mirande. It's here, and it's a nice because it has just a little walking path down for the girls to the, you know, go to the bathroom. But it was just nice that we just, you know, put together a rental agreement and was able to show it to the
Yeah, because we needed that for the
Visa
visa
people.
application.
yeah.
So you had an address
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
Richard and French Connections HCB sorted out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Had you seen the place you were going to be living?
Nope.
No.
We saw some videos of
Mhm.
it during construction.
Construction.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unwind. Construction.
Yeah.
What state was it when it was proposed to you as your address?
Oh boy.
Shambles?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you know, bare walls.
Mhm.
You know, the piping, you know, was in the walls. You could see
Okay.
it
Yeah.
hanging out, wires from the ceiling.
Yeah, the kitchen wasn't, you know, put in yet, you
No,
know.
there was no kitchen. There was a space where a kitchen would be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was wishful thinking.
And what made you trust Richard's vision that this could be a beautiful place for you to live?
Well, a lot of that had to do again with the conceptual designs that were being presented to
Yeah.
us, which is envision in this blank space with the open pipes and the hole in the floor, that this is what's going to be there and this is what we're going to put into accoutrement, right? And then you've got a first level and here's what's going to be there. And we've exposed the beams and we've exposed the rock and we've done all these things, right? So you can picture within the chaos,
Right.
right? Of, wow, you've got these beautiful floors that are, you know, 150
The
years
original
old,
floors,
right?
exactly.
And then you've got these beautiful, you know, stone walls that we later discovered were probably sourced from the ramparts that used to encompass the city of Mirande
Amazing.
that were repurposed to build the front of the building.
Yeah.
And then the other walls were exposed stone. And as it was being described more and more, it just sounded like it was going to be great. We were taking it on faith that it would be ready when the plane hit the tarmac in Toulouse.
Yeah, and also too, I mean, it was easy to have faith when, you know, we've already had the conversations with like Juliette and Richard.
Yes.
And there was that foundation of a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and they already shown they were trust, you know, worthy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a leap of faith, but we also knew we were in good hands.
Yeah. You weren't nervous about it?
No.
I mean,
A little nervous. I'd hoped that it would be done by the time we arrived, but it was beautiful.
So
We were
walking in
happy.
it
felt amazing.
felt amazing.
It was like we were home.
Yeah, and that original relationship with HCB, it started a year prior.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was a long time to
a
be able
history
to
together.
build
Yeah.
a relationship, right? Understand
Important.
one another. And then that way we could, you know, have a little more trust in that faith.
Yeah.
But we also saw his YouTube videos of
Yeah.
some of his renovations already.
Yes.
And that helped too. Because
Yeah.
it was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful what he's done.
And the
stuff.
workmanship
So,
is indeed.
Yeah,
the
the team's
artists
done.
they've got
Yeah.
working on the team do some beautiful things. So
Mhm.
if we'd even got half
Yeah.
what we were seeing in some of
Yeah.
these videos,
You'd have been happy.
we
Yeah.
would have been happy.
Yeah.
So you now have visa. You have a house.
Mhm.
You're here. What's next on the list? I think it's your car.
Mhm.
Buying a car in France, 2,495 euros as at a current price.
Mhm.
What is the value in that for you in being helped to find and buy a car?
First, a completely different set of cars that exist in France than in the United States.
And process.
And process.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean,
Yes.
complete.
100%. So we're not only dealing with an entirely different process, but the brand automobile.
Yeah.
Peugeot, Citroën,
Yeah.
Renault. These don't exist
No.
in the States. So getting a familiarity with the vehicles. Do we go full electric? Is that going to be a challenge in the smaller villages? Do we go with a hybrid? Do we just go with full petrol? So all of those conversations and then having some good recommendations thrown out. We've got the 2 full-size Huskies that we're going to have to
Yeah, we needed to keep in
have a
mind
spot
too.
in the back. So what's going to be the right vehicle?
And how did the process work then? Did HCB get back to you with some suggestions? Is that how it worked?
Well, Juliette said, okay, what do you guys like? You know, and I had already kind of thrown out some suggestions to her. And so she came back with a list. So we looked through them and we said yeah, or we said no, or tweaked some of the
Tweaked it.
search.
Yeah.
You know, like we need a bigger car because, you know, we have the 2 Huskies. So anyways, yeah, so we picked one and then she would contact the garage is what they call it here.
Yeah.
And because like garage in the States is a mechanic's garage
Oh,
or
okay.
your own garage, you know,
There may
in
be
your
some
house.
mechanics in
We're
there.
broken,
Yeah.
we're broken cars are.
Yeah. So when she was saying garage, I was like,
Uh-oh.
what does that mean? But, you know, just trust the process. Because again,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, they've already made a good impression with us and have been totally, you know, dependable. So
And here's another example of how the service really paid off for itself.
yeah.
We happened to pick the most popular make, model, and year.
Which was?
It was a Peugeot 3008
Yep.
GT,
Mhm.
and extremely popular. So by the time here's a listing, I think it'd be perfect for you, and we'd say yes, gone, right, sold. But this is, going through a process of inspection and things like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also have an inspector that would come
Yeah.
and look at the car
Look at the
and
car.
make sure it's running well, and
Right.
if there's any issues with
We
it.
did this 3 times, right? Present, sold, present, sold, present, sold. And then finally, Juliette said, okay, wait a minute. We're going to go with one of our partner garages. He's identified a car. He's going to set it to the side,
Oh,
right? This time we're going to get it held for you. We're not going to let it slip by. And then we got it purchased and then delivered to us from Paris into Mirande, delivered right to our doorstep.
wow.
Right? Keys and the driver brought it in. Quick tutorial
Wow.
on how to operate the car because
Yep.
it's in French.
It's in French.
And where to find all the documents for it, and then we were good to go.
Yeah.
Another success. Do you love your car?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. It's
Yeah.
fun.
The service that you bought includes search for the car based on your brief, negotiation of the price, which
Yes.
inevitably for people speaking the language is going to be much easier than not.
Oh, yeah.
Inspection to make sure it was a good vehicle,
Mhm.
and delivery, keys in your hand, straight to the door,
Yes.
and also a follow through to make sure that you had the relevant insurance
And registration.
and registration.
Yes. So we received our registration in the post
Yep.
a couple days later, and then we sent that back in to validate with the car and with the insurance. The insurance was fantastic, and from a cost of living standpoint, just a contrast between the States and France.
Yep.
55% less.
Oh,
Um,
that's a huge
and
amount.
it was
Mhm.
huge difference. In fact, when
And same coverage.
a little bit better,
Yeah,
as a matter of
yeah.
fact, when Juliette presented the insurance, and she's like, I hope this is okay. Right. Bless her heart. She's like, I hope this is okay. And I said, is that for a 6-month policy? And she goes, no, that's annually. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I was driving a 2015 Ford Mustang GT in the States, and then Kelli had her Mercedes SUV. Take what we pay in a year
Yeah.
for our Peugeot, multiply it by 4,
Oh my goodness.
and maybe you'd get to what we were paying. So when I say 50 to 55% less, that's like comparing it one vehicle to one vehicle that we had in the States.
Yeah, he goes, here, read this. Am I reading this correctly? Is this
The
what
decimal point
it
in the wrong
says?
place?
And I'm
I
like,
know. I'm doing a quick
yeah.
conversion from euro to dollar still, and I'm like, I don't think-
While we're on that topic, though,
Yeah.
because it's a really interesting topic, that's one of the things that you have noticeably, remarkably different in terms of cost of living and how much you need to pay for things. Are there other standout elements of living here in your first 9 weeks, which we mustn't forget, this is just 9 weeks all this has happened.
Mhm.
What other things have taken you a bit by surprise in terms of cost
Cost of living,
The cost of living, yeah.
So
In general,
groceries,
groceries.
groceries right away.
right away, groceries.
Mhm.
And does that cover fresh and packaged and tinned goods,
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
Just general
Mhm.
shopping.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, having the fresh market every Monday, the marché,
Yeah.
and being able to get the fresh meat,
Yeah.
the fresh vegetables, the fresh fruits, the artisan
Cheese.
cheese.
Yes.
Gosh, the cheesemongers are there. They recognize me now. He's an easy sell.
And the olive guy.
The olive guy. Yeah, the olive guy hooks me every time. He's like, Monsieur. I'm like, oh, yeah, just give me
You're
my
keeping him in
olives.
business.
Yes. Give my friend the baguette guy.
Yeah.
Who rolls his eyes when I said American. So he's like, oh, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
What about things like, seasonal produce, of course. If you eat seasonally, it's always cheaper anyway,
Mhm.
and fresh and just delicious. What about bills? I suppose in 9 weeks there probably haven't been many bills yet. to
Cell
pay.
phone bills. Yeah.
Yeah, cell phone bills cheaper.
Oh, yeah, 70%.
Wow.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Again, that was another double take. Like, wait, what? What did you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, we're a plan of 2, very high data plan.
Yeah.
And then with the 2 phone numbers, 2 cell phones, it's €39 a month. So if an American were listening to that today, they'd say, well, how, You know, you couldn't possibly have a data plan in there. No, it
What
might as
would
well
the
be
equivalent
unlimited
have
data.
been at home?
Oh, for the same package, and that was on a loyalty plan after being the same company for 10 years,
Yeah.
we were paying 150
That's a massive difference again.
US dollars compared to 39 euros.
So what about actual, which is well and truly a part of cost of living, the rental that you pay for your property, which is beautiful? How does that compare?
I think it compares really well. I mean, apples to apples, you know, we came from Phoenix, Arizona area. Rentals in that market were notoriously high. So comparatively, I'd have to say it was substantially less, because here we're paying $2,500 with utilities included.
Yeah.
Right.
So that includes the electric,
Yeah.
the water, you know, so
The cable.
the cable,
Yeah.
the
Wi-Fi.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all inclusive within a $2,500 a month rental, but that gets you, I mean, that gets you a basement.
Yeah.
That gets you a ground level that has a full laundry room with washer and dryer. And finding a dryer in a rental in France,
Very difficult.
very
Very
difficult.
unusual.
Right.
So I was thrilled.
Yeah. And then all the major rooms have air conditioning and heating.
Yeah. So you basically have 4 floors,
Yes.
basement below,
Mm.
kitchen, beautiful kitchen,
Beautiful kitchen.
a dining area, sitting room, bathroom downstairs,
Full bathroom.
2 more bathrooms upstairs,
Full.
2 bedrooms, dressing room, and still an attic space.
Furnished.
And yeah.
All
And
furnished.
furnished.
For €2,500 a month.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good deal, yeah.
Very good deal. And with the kitchen well presented enough that we had been here maybe just a few days, that we were already cooking our own meals in our kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. And a dishwasher too.
Dishwasher. Yeah, I forgot the
Dishwasher and clothes dryer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Americans, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big
It's a
deal.
huge
You know,
deal.
it really is. So
Yeah.
we had all the modern luxuries in France, you know, and you hear how sometimes, you know, the dryer's an issue or dishwasher, you know, in rentals, but we don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
So we're very comfortable. And then the storage was kind of an issue because I was worried about that. Because I mean, we've pretty much gotten rid of everything, but we're bringing our heirlooms and some books and things that are precious to us.
Yeah.
And I was a bit worried about the storage situation too, but with our rental,
Choice of
no
storage.
worries, yeah.
So going back to our little list, you also bought the French healthcare, the Carte Vitale service, which was €1,995 each. However, whilst applying for that, before applying for that, of course, your visa, you needed health coverage anyway. How were you helped with that? And have you had to use it? How have you found the healthcare system in France compared to the healthcare system in the States?
Well, we needed that international healthcare for the visa application itself to you know, have that policy in place.
Yeah.
And then that stays in place through the issuance of the Carte Vitale when we get introduced into the French healthcare system. So we did use HCB to introduce us to that broker to get that healthcare plan in place.
And have you had occasion to use that healthcare cover that you had?
Not that coverage per se, but use the French healthcare system. Yes.
Great. How was that?
I think I'm still not believing it 100%. But yeah, I mean, we needed to make a doctor appointment.
Yeah.
And we needed to go to Toulouse.
Yes.
Because we wanted to find somebody who was English speaking, was a specialist in a particular field. So we did make the hour and 20-minute drive into the big city. And then we paid our €30.
Consultation fee?
Yeah. and here's where my doubting comes in, right? And then, you know, some prescriptions to fill and some, you know, some homework to do, some follow-ups that still need to be done, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But in the States, that 30 euro, that would have been just considered a copay.
Right.
There would have been a more substantial bill to go to a doctor's office to visit with a doctor.
Oh.
That would have been in the hundreds, maybe even surpassed that for
Gosh.
that time spent
Yeah.
and the work that's going to be done.
But you have to have that copay in the States. You also have to have insurance.
Right.
Where here, we're not even on the Carte Vitale yet,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And it cost me 30 euros to go
So you
see
were
my
still
doctor.
entitled.
Mm-hmm. To go
Correct.
see my doctor, and she went through all my prescriptions with me because I'm a type 2 diabetic.
Right.
Went through all my prescriptions with me, got blood work ordered, you know, just kind of went through, you know, and she spoke English.
Yeah.
And it was nice because she had like her own little office that we went into, which was nice. And
Yeah.
Is that unusual?
yeah, well, because normally doctors' offices in the States is you walk into a big office,
Oh, okay.
right? And then you have people that will take you to your room, and then your doctor will come in.
Oh, I see.
And here, we just kind of sat in a little waiting room,
Yeah.
and she came out, and she's like, Madame Wells? And at first I was like, oh. And we went back, and we went into her own little area, you know, where she had everything she needed
Yeah.
to
Her
take
office,
care of
basically.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And
All for 30 euros.
all for 30 euros.
Yeah, and see, and that's where the cynic part in me, which I need to get over.
Get
you know?
over it.
Yeah,
It's
I need
true.
to, you know, and yeah, it's kind of embedded in me. But I keep waiting for another bill to show up to say, well, yeah, you paid 30 euro, but you still
No, I
owe
think
us
you're good.
another
I think
1,000
you're good.
euro, you know, for whatever, right? Because that is unfortunately what happens.
And it is what a lot of people worry about when they're thinking of moving over here. Because because exactly what you said, John, it sounds unbelievable. A lot of the other things on the list, it's a bit like buying Christmas presents in advance, isn't it? You have bought already in your package for the time that you will need them, which will be within the next 12 months. So we've already spoken about the Carte Vitale, but there are also financial things such as tax code creation.
I love how you just
First-
made the tax code creation a Christmas present. Oh, I can't wait to.
Believe me,
Oh.
if you didn't have it, that would not be good.
Right.
The first French tax return.
I
Great
know.
present there.
I know. Better than socks.
so much more useful than socks. And making a will in France, that's another thing we'll
Yeah.
get onto in a moment,
Mhm.
because as will financial package,
Mhm.
because the great thing that you have already started to find with HCB is having that affiliation with notaires,
Yeah.
with chartered accountants, with tax accountants means
Mhm.
you always have access to great advice,
Mhm.
even if it's in advance of your Christmas, even in advance of you actually needing it.
Mhm.
I don't know if you talk to anybody about any financial advice or tax issues so far.
We talked to
Geraud.
Geraud. Yeah, he partners with HCB, and I just set up a calendar video call with him
Yeah.
because I have a couple of LLCs in the States, and just
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that they were French, like there weren't going to be an issue with
Right.
the French tax system or
Yeah.
our visa or anything like that. And so just explain things. He's like, no, you're good to go. And we were like, wonderful. And it was just a 15-minute quick conversation, but it was so nice. He just took the time out, video call and everything. And then he's just like, any other questions? And we kind of went through just a couple of things again with just our
Yeah.
finances,
Yeah.
you know, and he answered them pretty quick, and then we were good. Yeah.
Well, and that kind of correlates back to why did Kelli and I engage a service to assist us move in the first place.
Yes.
We're extremely conscientious
Yeah.
about wanting to do things the right way,
Mm.
right? We're moving into somebody else's house,
Yeah.
right?
We're a guest.
And
Yeah.
right, and we want to make sure that we're living in that person's house correctly. And you know, if there are administrative tasks that need to be done, while they're icky and nobody wants to do them, you know, a French tax return. Well, we've read that there are several expats out there that have never filed a French tax return, right? And then something comes up in the future.
Yeah.
Now they haven't filed it, so they're not eligible for a great number of things because
Yes.
they haven't started that process, or they have to backtrack now, and they're out
Thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
euros.
Yeah, they're out some monies. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing all these things correctly. So having those things sitting, waiting for us to go through, yes, we'll get that first tax return done. That's a continuing part of the residency process.
Yeah.
And then that'll work into some of the financial planning piece with, while we do have, you know, an estate and living trust in the United States, we want to make sure that we're also corresponding that to the requirements in France, because they're
Yeah.
very different. One
Very different.
Yeah, one recognizes it and the other doesn't.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're establishing that as well. Because again, we just want to make sure that we're doing all these things the right way.
And
no
how-
stone unturned.
Right. And how would we have known if we
Right.
didn't have HCB to help us?
No, that you can't possibly
Right.
know.
There's no way I would have thought, oh, you need to, you know, maybe look into the wills, or because it's different, you know, like France doesn't like trusts, you know?
France
You
does
know,
not
so
like
it's like,
trusts.
okay, we gotta, you know, tread those waters. Well, who are we gonna call?
Yeah.
You know, or you know, it's like John explained really well one time, is like there's so much you have to think about beforehand that you're not even thinking about once you get here.
Yeah.
What is, so those Christmas gifts are great because you know now they are coming, but they
Yeah.
have
Right.
people that are going to be able to help
Yeah.
you.
And that's the investment. If you're choosing to use a service like HCB to assist you in these types of transitions, which is a big deal. It's a big deal to move from one country to the next,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's a huge deal. This is an investment in that process. Well, sure, could I have done it? Could we have done it ourselves? Well, probably. I probably could have built my own house too, you know, and I would have made 1,000 mistakes, and the roof would have fallen down a couple times.
And
I
it
would have
costs more
electrocuted
money
myself.
and
Yeah.
more stress.
And more stress, and it would have cost me a lot more money.
Yeah.
Or I can invest in a contractor to build the house and do it the right way,
Yeah.
or a service to emigrate me into another country and do it the right way,
Yeah.
which is very important to us.
So all told, from start to finish, you were willing and did commit to 25,000 euros worth of services from French Connections HCB. The question is, what made you happy to commit that amount of money ahead? So you've used a lot of the services, you've invested in the services for the future, and there'll be other new services, I'm sure, as you go along. What was the rationale for thinking, yep, happy to do this?
Well, it's a one-stop shop. We're not working with an entity that's then contracting out with somebody else. We have a single point of contact, or a couple points of contact within French Connections that get all these things done for us, or they're familiar with our account, so they know what we've already been through and what still needs to be done. And with all of these services invested in, because I don't look at it anyway as a cost. It was an investment in this process of moving to another country. And that investment is guaranteeing that we've got that support there to work us through some of the little administrative hurdles that could come up.
Yes.
You know, should there be a question down the road on a visa, well, then there's lawyers in-house at HCB that will then review and then advise. If something comes up with our financial planning and needs, well, then we can go right back to Gers and have that, again, in-house, already working you know, the company that's familiar with us.
Yeah.
So in a single shop.
Yeah. One-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
And two, you know, we looked at other services.
Yeah.
You know, because we kind of looked at the people who were just doing it all on their own.
Yeah.
You know, and we thought about that and did a lot of research and even talked to a few people who are already here in France that did that on their own. So, you know, kind of going back and forth on that. And then we talked to another company that I watched, you know, quite a few of her YouTube channels and stuff, and reached out to them. And it was kind of negative right off the bat.
Really?
Right. Yeah. It was like, well, this is going to be really hard, or that's going to be really hard. And it's like, oh, okay, well, for someone who is calling to get information, who has this dream of wanting to move to France, and you're already pretty much
being negative.
You're kind of telling us it's not worth it, but that it's going to be stressful and difficult. And so that turned me off right away.
Yeah.
So we just continued to research and look around and take it, you know, listen to different advice and stuff, and then ran into Richard's videos.
Is that where you found Richard and French Connections?
Yeah, I found him and started watching his videos and just liked the vibe. You know what I mean? It was just positive. It was informative. And so we went ahead and we reached out and got in contact with Richard. And it was a great conversation. And he went through everything, all his services. And, you know, like we mentioned before, it's like
ticked off all the boxes.
Yeah, but also, oh, I didn't even know we needed to do that.
Right.
Or I didn't know this was going to be an issue. Or it's like, so as we're going through it, we're like, well, we don't really need this, or we don't need that. And so I asked Richard, I'm like, well, is this customizable to us? And he's like, yeah, of course it is, you know? So we went through, we're like, okay, we need this, this, and this right away. And then we were like, but you know what? Let's just, like John mentioned, it's an investment in us.
Yes,
you know?
in you.
In us. And so we went ahead and just took care of the rest, because then we knew we don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Now HCB is on the case and they're going to take care of us. So we could acclimate moving to France. We can learn how to pump our own gas again. You know, we can go grocery shopping. We can do all those things and not be thinking about, oh yeah, we got to take care of our Carte Vitale, or oh gosh, we got to go take care of the will situation, or our taxes, or the vets, or, you know, it's just like we could move in and not
start living
that stress.
Your life.
Exactly. Just start living.
Your French
That's
life.
a really good point on why that cost, why it might seem high to others, and it doesn't seem high to us. And maybe some people are like, oh my gosh, but 25,000. You're moving to another country.
Yeah, and that's for two of you, of course.
For two of us.
And
right?
2 dogs.
Everything is different here. Everything. There's nothing that's the same, right? So every action you take when you get here will be learning something new.
Yeah.
The grocery store, I mean, maneuvering your way around. Driving, you know, just what's available in certain shops, right? Everything is different. Getting a haircut for the first time. It took 5 weeks for me to find a barber. And that's to get a haircut. You know, it took Kelli 2 months to find a hairdresser. So everything is different.
Yeah.
So if you've got all this other administrative stuff piled on top of it, think about the hours and hours and hours of time. What does that equate to in money-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then too, like beforehand, you don't realize how emotional it is to move.
Let's talk about the emotion.
Yeah,
actually,
it's very emotional.
You have come to somewhere new and you clearly love it. And it in your first 9 weeks, which we mustn't forget, that 9 weeks is not a long time. That's a big change. So you're still fresh, freshly arrived.
very.
So, and you left family and you left friends there and your belongings, which are on the way. So how have you coped with the readjustment, apart from the excitement and adventure? How are you coping?
Well, before we moved, it was, there's a lot of excitement, of course.
Yeah.
But when it starts really hitting you, like, this is getting real, you know, you put your house on the market and you got a contract, you know, or you're going through your belongings of what's going to stay or what you need to give away. And like, for me, it was like my adult children. It was really hard to be giving them their baby stuff and their things that I've held on to and treasured for so long and given it to them. And there's just so much you don't even think are going to be an issue for you, really. You know, that's what we appreciate so much with French Connections HCB is they take so much off your plate.
Yeah.
So you can focus on, okay, I need to sell my house. I need to give away precious things. I need to sell my car. I need to say goodbye to my family, you know, and you don't realize how much of a toll that takes on you till you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And so knowing that HCB has our back, they're taking care of this stuff for us so we could focus on this. And then coming here, it's been great because, you know, now we're here. And again, it's like, we feel like kindergartners again, you know, but knowing, again, HCB has our back and is there, and we can acclimate and we can get the girls taken care of, our dogs. And, you know, and just like you said, just start living our life.
It sounds as though your transition to France hasn't been a struggle. You did your research ahead of time. You had French Connections HCB to help you with the admin. So given that that wasn't exactly a struggle, you seem to have, you make it sound an easy and natural thing to do. What would your advice be to anybody else thinking of coming over? Not necessarily only from the States, but primarily.
Well, for me, I would say, you know, do your research for sure. Visit often. You know,
in different parts.
In different, in different areas. I mean, if France is your destination, then France is the size of Texas.
Right.
So Texas is very diverse, you know, for somebody from the States. Each north, south, east, west is very different. Same with France. So visit, find out where you want your home base to be. And then do your research. Talk to some folks. I mean, the internet is a wonderful thing in that regard. Reach out to somebody, you know, in the expat community that has made that transition. Engage them ahead of time, as Kelli had done when we were going through this process. So
and that really helped.
It helped tremendously, so that you can have the pleasant surprises, but you're not caught off guard or completely shocked or think, oh my gosh, why did I do this? Because I had no idea it was going to be this drastically different. Do your research, do your reading, watch the videos on YouTube, watch all the videos on French Connections. There's tons of information there.
Do you regret having sold everything over there and moved over here?
No.
Categorically, no.
Just no.
And what about you, John?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not, I don't mean to sound ungrateful for, you know, the 50 plus years. I won't give my age, but the 50 plus years we lived in the United States. It's a wonderful country. It provided a lot of wonderful opportunities. We were just ready for a change. And this was a brand new adventure with something that we love. The history, the gastronomy, the people.
The culture,
in France, which
the
are
beauty,
absolutely dear and wonderful.
So beautiful.
That, I mean, looking back, no. I mean, is it sometimes scary thinking there is no home there to go back to? Sometimes
like a building.
Sometimes it sneaks in. But no regret. now, because now you're committed.
Yeah.
Right? You're in your dream, you're living your dream. And there's no turning back, so no regrets.
Cette chose qui n'existe pas, l'inconnu qui est en moi. Envie d'être envie de soi, pour une fois.
So, based on your 9 weeks of residency in France, your new home, let's talk a bit about things like friendship.
Mm.
Were you worried before you came over that it might be hard to settle in and make new friends?
I was concerned about that for sure, you know, because you want to belong,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and so it was something I was a bit concerned about for sure. So
And how has it been?
I think it's been good.
yeah, fortunately, our next door neighbors are American,
Yeah, they're English-speaking Americans, yes.
so that's been wonderful.
Yeah.
And a couple of other Americans are there too, as well. Some of them stay full time, and others come and go.
Yeah.
But we've met a few of them now, and they're just all amazing people going through, or have gone through, you know, what we're
So
going through.
they were there before you, so they
Yes.
could share their experience.
Yes.
And do you think that's important for people when they come over? Do you think that changed the way you felt about arriving and how easy it was for you to settle in? Did that make it easier?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Sure, it helped with the assimilation.
Yeah.
Where's the grocery store? Right? Where do I collect my wayward Amazon package from?
How do we get rid of recyclables and trash?
Right. Exactly. Just the little curiosities that you have on your day-to-days that you can Google it and maybe you're going to get the right answer. Maybe you'll get Google's answer. But having that perspective from people who live in the town, they've already experienced it, is helpful. And, you know, even the lovely lady who lives kind of catty corner to us.
Yeah.
She's South African British, and instantly, you know, wanted to meet and greet,
Fantastic.
know where we were from. Of course, wanted to know all about the dogs. You know, it's always the dogs. The dogs have been great ambassadors to meeting new people.
That was going to be a question, actually. So you're walking through town with a couple of stunning dogs, the likes of which people have not seen in Mirande. Have French people approached you
Yeah.
because of those
Every day.
dogs?
Every day.
And do you
day.
feel that there's any chance of friendships forming with French people in the village?
I would.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I mean,
yeah.
there's politeness, and I think we're moving towards like, they see us around more often.
Yeah.
So we're not just fly by night. We're not tourists. And I think that's helping them come out of their shells more. And it's also helping us too, you know, because we want to make those French connections and those, you know, French friendships. But everyone's been so nice and kind and helping us with our language. And, you
Give
know,
me an example. Who's been helping you with the language?
Valerie.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Valerie. I mean, just the simple asking for a specific drink, or how do you say this, or, you know, and she will either correct us or she will help us try to understand what we're saying, you know, because her French is, or her English is kind of, you know, like our French is. But she's just, you know, they're just very kind. It's not like they're correcting you because they're being rude.
No.
Yeah.
They're helpful.
They're being helpful.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And Valerie owns a restaurant.
She
Does
does.
she? Yes.
Gourmet.
the gourmet in Mirande.
Where you go
Mirande.
quite a lot.
Yes,
oh
we do,
yes,
yeah.
delicious food.
Delicious
Amazing
food.
food.
And her husband is the chef, and he puts out an amazing meal. And then the nice young man that works with him there, Nathan, he's a younger man.
Yeah.
But super sweet.
Yeah.
And again, just curious. Where are we from? Why are we why are we at the restaurant so often? Right?
Like we live around the corner. We love your food.
And he's like, oh, so you live here. So, but now we see him around town.
Yes,
and
wave at us.
Right.
So
Wave and say
doesn't
hi.
that make you feel good? Don't you think
Yeah.
that when people start to acknowledge you in the street, just a hello, just a handshake, doesn't that make you feel like you have actually arrived? It's a very different feeling from being on holiday, isn't it?
It
It
is.
is.
It
You got to
is.
be willing to put yourself out there a little bit
Yes.
too, and offer up yourself so that they, in return, my name is John.
Yeah.
Je m'appelle John, and then and then that'll strike it up. But at least you're throwing it out there to where then you can call a person by name and say bonjour Nathan or bonjour Bruno, bonjour,
That's
whomever
great
you've
advice
met.
for people.
And then it shows you're trying.
Yeah.
Right. You're not there to just be in France. You're there to be a part of France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a part of the community. Contribute.
Contribute, exactly.
Yeah.
So part of contributing, I guess, is learning more vocabulary and daring to use it or to try it out. How is your French?
I can't even say how bad it is in French. Is how bad it is.
That's probably a good thing. Okay.
I mean,
let's change the question.
But I would say that it's the first time in my life that I have been bold enough to at least try it with anybody that I come in contact with.
Okay.
Even something as simple as walking into the hair salon that we had found in Auch, and walking in with my "Je suis désolé, non parle français," and her to respond back to me and go, "Just tell me what you need, friend. Tell me all about it." And I'm like, "Oh, you speak English?" And she's like, "And so do you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, bless your heart. I need a haircut so bad." And for her to just kind of take me in hand, and she was just a gem. And then she would experiment her English with me.
Great.
I would experiment my French back. Like, what am I saying wrong? Where am I not putting the right emphasis on the right syllable?
Yeah.
And which is hard for an American to do because we want to over-exaggerate everything. But that's where it's been fun. Sometimes, sometimes it's massively embarrassing if you mispronounce something.
Is it though?
Yeah, a couple times.
Depends on, you've had a couple.
Yep,
A
I've had a
couple
couple
of
doozies.
Whoppers.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'd be like appropriate.
Not
to talk
appropriate for filming.
Is it where you've accidentally said a French swear word?
No.
Oh, now I'm really puzzled.
No, but it was ordering a particular drink.
Okay.
Pousse Repier.
Pousse Rapier.
Right, spelled Pousse. Except I put too much emphasis on the E, and you can see where I'm going.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Did you get the drink in the end?
Yes, because
Well, thank goodness it was Valerie.
It was
So
Valerie.
we already had this, relationship with her, and so she just kind of leaned forward and correctly pronounced it. And John was like, "Yeah,
Pousse.
that was it, pousse, pousse." And we're
And
like,
I went, yes.
"Oh God."
Yes, it is.
Do you think that you, in just going about your daily life, you can feel new words
Yes.
entering your sort of vocabulary?
And it may take 10 times of hearing it before it finally processes.
But you've got the time.
Right. And I mean, you go into the same patisserie every day.
Yeah.
You go into the same grocery store. Every week you're going to the same vendors at the marché every Monday. After a while, the words that they've corrected you, the next time you're hitting them correctly.
Yes.
Um,
And they must notice too.
and we watch our American football games in French.
Mm-hmm.
There you are.
Mm-hmm.
So
Actually, they say, don't they, that watching a television program, when you're familiar with the characters, but you're watching it in French, is actually an excellent way
it is
to learn.
because you'll hear that word and you go, oh, there it is. Now I know what it means.
9 weeks here in Mirande.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'll stay in Mirande? It's obviously very early days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a plan? Is Mirande your long-term plan?
Well, we first thought maybe like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I just don't, but I mean, it's has surprised us.
Yeah.
And
Pleasantly surprised.
yes, and just the beauty and the people.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. We may call this home. We may call this home.
It could happen. The Gers is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's as if somebody remanufactured Tuscany, Italy.
Yeah, it's called the Tuscany of
And
France.
popped it into southern France.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's gorgeous. And the vineyards and the sunflower farms. And I mean, the agriculture in this part of France, it's everywhere and it's so beautiful. Whether or not it's just been harvested or it's in full bloom,
Yes.
it's equally as beautiful.
Yeah. Even in winter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
and
mean, even the color
hills
brown.
I know.
Even the color brown is beautiful here.
Yeah, we'd never say that in Arizona.
No, brown is dirt.
But actually, brown is beautiful here.
Yeah,
so,
brown is very beautiful
yeah.
here.
But just like, you're not too far away from the Pyrenees.
Yeah.
And,
they're right
it's just, it's just, it's a magical place. I didn't know anything about this neck of the woods at all. We hadn't visited, didn't even really thought even vacationing or visiting. And I'm so glad that we are here.
So would you describe yourselves as happy?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Unequivocally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Content.
content. There's the word.
Content.
That is the right word.
That's a more important word,
Yeah.
actually.
Mhm.
Yeah. Content should be a bigger word,
Yeah.
but it's the right word.
Yeah. And even with the, all the newness of everything,
Yeah.
it's perfectly imperfect.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's just a joy to be a part of.
There you go. Well, here's to that. And welcome, you guys.
Merci
Bienvenue.
beaucoup.
Un petit bout d'avenir